Okay, so the thought was I wrote about the 5 conflict styles, and I kind of illustrated what each of them meant in the paper. The purpose of this video is to kind of illustrate the differences between all 5. And I thought, what a way to illustrate that, to use a metaphor. I liken it to how I create music and how mixing in particular, how certain elements conflict, is inherent in music. And so, you as a mixing engineer need to find that right balance and create a mix that's pleasing. The conflict resolutionist, as you would put it, needs to know when to bring out which tool and when. The first style being the avoidant style. My first thought of avoidant conflict style is in music. And so say we focus in on the percussion. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna solo out. So the drum is playing, the drums and the percussion are playing, right? And so soloing out, everything else is playing, but you're kind of like soloing it out. And so in a way, it avoids interacting with others. It avoids interacting with the other elements. And so I see that as, avoiding the conflict means you're not really interacting. You're not really trying to make a song. You're not really trying to solve the conflict, but you're avoiding the conflict altogether. The next conflict style is accommodation. So we have that playing, right? But what would accommodation look like? Well, as a mixing engineer, like say I go and take the drums and I lower the volume. So it's still there, it's still present. I've lowered the drums, the percussion, and everything else is playing loud and clear. So in a way, the drums are accommodating everything else. The needs of the drum is not sounding through the mix, so you can barely hear it. And so I liken that to accommodation, where your needs are kind of like very small. It's still there, but you accommodate because you value the relationship. You're giving the right of way to other elements. Now, the next part is collaboration. Collaboration is great because everyone's needs are basically accounted for. A mixing engineer is trying to find balance within the song, right? Nothing is overpowering the other. So the point is everything is mixed and has its proper place. The same thing with collaboration is the fact that everyone has their voice heard, and so the actual conflict, the resolution part, everyone has a part, and so no one feels left out. The next conflict style, compromising, which basically means it's I mentioned this in the paper, it's sort of win-ish situations where you kind of cut off the possibility of really getting win situations. In music terms, a compromise would be, you have all these sounds competing for the same frequency. So see here, you have two, basically a lot of strings playing. And so a compromise versus a collaboration would be, we have all of these strings playing, right? But a compromise would be to say, instead of mixing them and so they're both represented, let me just go ahead and mute one of them. And see, now it kind of sounds okay. It's not noise, but you got two strings and decide, oh, well, I just don't want to, that headache. So let me just take that first string out and let it play like this, and so it's a simpler song. Yeah, that could work, but it's a compromise. It's a compromise if you wanted the song kind of full. And the last conflict style, which is competition, if you put them on a continuum, avoidant style would be on one end, and the competition would be on the other. Because you're avoiding the conflict, but competition, you're running right in it. You're winning at all costs. Your needs comes before everybody else's. Musically competing would be for a mixing engineer. So I'm gonna just turn up all of the volumes. Who has precedence here? They're all kind of competing against each other, and it's starting to be distorted. This is like basically noise. So what happens in that situation, you end up having to cut a lot of stuff out because everything is competing for the same frequency. It's not mixed well, doesn't sound good. It sounds more like noise, distorted noise at that. And so who's the winner? I mean, you basically either start from the beginning, obviously bring the volume down. That's how I kind of visualize when I was reading the text and I was writing this essay about the 5 competitive styles, how they differ from each other, how they're similar, and I kind of illustrated some of that in the paper. But I thought this would be a good, interesting short video to demonstrate. So.